It's been many years since the Kings Place building on North Swan Street in Albany was home to the owners of the early Ten Broeck Mansion. Now, thanks to the vision, leadership, and support of the City of Albany in partnership with the Albany Housing Authority, this historic 19th century building is once again connected to the mansion. In addition to providing exhibition and desperately needed office space for mansion staff, the building is also home to 2 affordable housing units. The journey from 19th century opulence to an anchor of the community's 21st century rebirth was long and challenging. But in the end, the coalition of public and private partners proved equal to the task.
It was a very dark time for the city and that street in particular because there was a small drug cartel that had taken over the entire street, and there was also violence. There were people who were being shot and killed every other week, it seemed. There was a crisis. The Kings Place building was the epicenter of that crisis. It was the home of the drug dealer. And so the federal government swooped in and arrested him and took that property under the RICO statute, which really freed it up and allowed us to really get around to rehabbing it and putting it back into productive use.
Now restored and remodeled, the building is home to residents who are enjoying the fully renovated apartments and all the neighborhood has to offer.
We go through an incredible amount of work and effort to make sure that when you move into an apartment at Albany Housing Authority, it may not have all the fanciest bells and whistles, but you can tell that somebody worked really hard to get this apartment ready for you. And I think that over a period of time, people may have moved in which they were underemployed, but they have certainly done better by living in an environment where they can hold their head up and proud of having coming and going each day and having family and friends over.
They told me about the apartment. They said, we have an apartment down on Swan Street. And I'm like, oh, Swan Street? No. But he said, go look at the apartment and see if you like it. And if you like it, you can move in. So when we got here, they opened the door and I fell in love. I just love the atmosphere. I just love the community.
The Kings Place restoration also reestablishes the building's lost connection to the neighboring Ten Broeck Museum. In partnership with the mansion's owner, the Albany Historical Association, the Albany Housing Authority is connecting North Swan Street and Arbor Hill to the rest of the city and beyond. And in the process, the community is reconnecting to a unique treasure.
We've always had a tradition of really trying to be a part of the community, a part of the neighborhood especially. And Ten Broeck Mansion, while it's beautiful and it has beautiful gardens, it is sort of fenced in and not as accessible as this property is. And so it was really exciting for us to have the space and be able to do more with the community.
That brings an esteemed institution that is in the neighborhood onto Swan Street, where they would not have a presence otherwise, and all the people that they attract to the Ten Broeck Mansion. This is a house museum that's in the neighborhood.
The advisory group has come up with 3 more exhibits that we're working on. One would be the history of Arbor Hill and really the notable people that have lived here. We're talking a little bit about, we're working with the Underground Railroad and the community on something from slavery to civil rights exhibit.
The restoration of Kings Place reflects the value and values of the Albany Housing Authority. Affordable housing for city residents, building public and private partnerships, as well as growth and development of the city as a whole.
Oftentimes, those people who are moving into those apartments or into that office space are the people that I met all the way at the beginning of that process. They're the neighborhood stakeholders that I got to know and that helped guide that project all the way through to its fruition, and are the ones who are directly benefiting from all that effort that went into that.
You know, where you invest in 1 and 2 and 3 houses on a block, and then shortly thereafter you see private investors coming in or new families taking out private mortgages. And that is slow to happen, but it is happening. It's very, very exciting.